I believe in the power of learning, and so does Smart Deal Academy. This incredible nonprofit serving the greater Charlotte area is changing lives through personalized tutoring, homeschool teaching, and enrichment classes for students of all ages. From pre-K phonics to private music and Spanish lessons, Smart Deal creates a safe, joyful space where kids grow in confidence and curiosity. This work only happens because of generous donations from those who believe every student deserves a chance to thrive. Every dollar fuels one-on-one support, creative programming, and the kind of encouragement that sticks with a child for life. Be a part of that impact by visiting smartdeal.com and make a tax-deductible donation today. Let's build a brighter future together.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Merit, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here because I just kind of love everything that you do. You make me happy. Your show makes me happy. And so I wanted to have you on just to talk about your one-woman show, Optimistic Personality Disorder.
Yes, thank you. It's my favorite topic.
Yeah. Well, good. Then I'm glad I brought it up. How did this come about?
Came about because on my 50th birthday, one of my girlfriends said, I made a list of 50 things I wanted to do before my 50th birthday. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I made my list and I got to number 2, which was write a one-woman comedy show. And I had never had a conscious thought about that in my life. So it was kind of weird that it was on the page. And the next thing I knew, I would like to tell you I leapt into action. What I leapt into was procrastination. I did that for a solid 6 months, and then I created I booked a venue, and I created the marketing page, and I sold a ticket, and I was like, wow, I should probably write this show.
Now I have to work.
Now I have to do something about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to do it as a celebration for my 50th to really look back in my life and think, if I could rewrite some of the parts of my life story that didn't go so well, but I wrote them like a comedy set, then would it change my future? And it absolutely has.
Wow.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, yeah, you're a performer, you're a comedian. So, I mean, a one-woman show isn't that, it's not like you were like, I was an accountant and number
Right.
2 on that list was one woman. What was number 1? Do you remember?
Yep. Number 1 was go back to some of the places that I had traveled to as a backpacker when I was 25 years old, and this time go back in style. So that was definitely on my list, and that was part of my plan. In fact, I did my one woman show. I thought it was going to be one night only. It was November 22nd, 2019, and I had plans to go overseas. June of 2020. And we all know how that story goes. So I had number 1 and number 2 checked off my list, but I had to postpone the travel for a little while.
Here we are, the end of 2025.
Yeah.
The show is still up and running, correct?
Yes, I've been touring. Admittedly, I've been dipping my toe into the touring because I do actually have another business. I'm a keynote speaker. I speak to sales and leadership audiences. I use a lot of stories and anecdotes from my comedy sets and my show in my keynote programs, but that keeps me pretty busy. I'm actually in that process of transitioning from daytime keynote speaker to nighttime, theater show performer, and it's a little bit of a balance. But I have toured the show. I've done it in New York, Chicago, St. Louis, Rapid City, Florida, Charlotte, and another couple of shows in Nebraska. And I'm currently building the 2026 tour. So stay tuned. Coming to it too.
Good. Don't come back to Charlotte without telling me, because that's where I am. So,
Oh yes, I will make a note of that.
did you grow up as entertaining as a kid? Like I grew up doing exactly this in my bedroom as a 10-year-old. So did you grow up like being a funny kid or performing like that, or what kind of kid were you?
Well, let's see. So I grew up in White Plains, which is about 30 minutes outside of Manhattan. So I grew up seeing a lot of Broadway shows.
Mm.
And in my young life and in school, I was in all of the school shows. I was in basically anything that you could wear a short skirt to as well, like cheerleading, baton twirling, ice skating, tennis. Like short skirts were my
Your jam.
preferred,
Yeah.
like outfit. But I just I don't know what it was. I actually remember telling my father as a young girl that I wanted to be an actress, and he's like, "Yeah, sounds great. Why don't you, you know, do something else? And then if you still want to do that, go ahead." And I was like, So here I am at 50. I've done all the other things that I wanted to do professionally, and I'm like, what? This was still kind of tugging at me. But one of the very interesting pieces of the puzzle is when I was in sixth grade, they canceled the school musical. And I was like, "Oh, hell no. We are
No,
doing
no.
a school musical." Because at that point, I was a pretty good little singer. And so I produced it. I produced the school musical in sixth grade. And so I think it's kind of humorous that here we are this many years later, and I wrote and I produced the show, I produced the tour, I perform the show, I do all of it. Like, if you have a problem with your tickets, it's me emailing you to fix it. Like, right now, I'm doing everything. It's exhausting. I hope to not be doing everything soon.
Then I love how you're so surprised that number two on your list was do a one woman show when you've been doing it since you were in sixth grade. That's
Yeah,
so funny.
I suppose that is kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you I'm always like I know a lot of comedians, I have a lot of friends who are comedians. I know just a lot of regular day funny people. When did you like know, okay, well this is more than just like me being funny around my friends? Like I'm always curious how people take that leap into like, oh, I'm so funny people should pay me to do this.
I don't know if I ever had that experience. I mean, I kind of knew that I always had a good sense of humor and an optimistic outlook on life. I took a comedy class in
Um,
2014. Ironically, I took it to be better and more deliberately funny for my keynote programs. So I was already delivering all this great content and getting paid well for it, but I wanted to be more deliberately funny. And so taking a stand up class made sense to me. I had no idea I would be so in it taken over by comedy. It's one thing to stand on a stage and share good information. Whether or not you like me is irrelevant if the information is important to your role and why you're at that particular conference or sales kickoff or whatever it is. But as a comedian, if you're not laughing every 7 to 10 seconds, I'm not doing a good job. And but if you are, and it's something that I wrote, original material based on my life experience, my observations, I mean, there is literally nothing better in the world than somebody just being able to let go and relax and find laughter, that laugh out loud kind of experience at something that was an original thought in your head.
yeah.
It's just the best ever.
As you were talking about how you got into it, I'm thinking about my friend Becky, who's going to watch this show and then text me and go, I told you we should take stand up classes because she is in the HR world and does speaking and keeps
Wait,
texting me
Becky
like,
in HR? I love Becky in HR.
yes, yes. And you listen to her podcast, don't you?
Absolutely.
And she's going to say, I told you we should take, because she wants to take stand up classes because she thinks it would be an all around. All right. Well, now I have to because you told me.
Well, Becky, you are one smart cookie, Becky. Yes, just you should definitely take stand-up comedy classes because what I learned, it wasn't so much about, here's the structure of a joke. Yes, you should learn that. There are rules to stand up. There are principles to follow that do make your jokes funnier. Um, but I literally learned how to think like a comedian.
Hmm.
I I can't not think like a comedian. It's no matter what is going on, I could be in traffic and the minute I feel myself getting frustrated by that, I think, oh, what's frustrating about this?
Yeah.
What's funny about this? What's embarrassing about this? What's crazy about this? And you just ask yourself these questions, and you find these funny threads, and whether it makes it into my stand-up set is honestly irrelevant, because I'm now a completely different person sitting in traffic, because I'm looking at it through a deliberately funny perspective where I never had that before. I mean, like,
Mm.
I always had an optimistic outlook. I think people
Mhm.
are basically good. I think, the universe is basically a good place, all those things. I see things as good and not evil. But that's a little bit different than finding the funny. And one of the main messages of my one woman show is find the funny to turn a bad situation around when things go awry, because things will go awry in your life,
Yeah.
and my story takes you, in a really beautiful way, through the ups and downs of my life story, which I quickly learned. Like, when I first did the show, it was about me. It was supposed to be about me. It was my damn birthday. But as I listened to people and their experience having been in the audience, and these, I would say 80% of that audience was somebody that I knew, right? I sold out a theater of 170 people, but there was a lot of people that had a direct experience with me. So they were interested in the story. But the people that had no connection with me at all, didn't know anything about me, what they said about the show was they saw themselves in my story. And
Yeah.
that's when I knew I have something much bigger than myself. And I changed the name. The original show was called Book of Merit, because it was my life story. But the show is now called Optimistic Personality Disorder, because it's not about me. It's not my story that's important at all. It's that you leave the theater feeling optimistic about your life, finding the funny moments, and remembering the lessons that made you strong, and the laughter that kept you going. And if I can give you that experience in the theater, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and you have a great video on your website with like interviewing people outside of the theater. It's so like you find your I found myself just smiling watching them smile, enjoying you even though I wasn't there because they
Wow.
everyone just looked so excited to be there and so like so relatable, right? Like it's just so like that was me up there, but I didn't have to be. I could just watch her and laugh at her.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And I love that it's so many different kinds of people that found it relatable. Like, people that I don't have I didn't think I would have much in common. If you look at them, right, the guy in the bow tie,
Uh-huh.
the African American guy, the 80-year-old woman, it's like I am none of those things. But they all related to the
Yeah.
story in their way. And I think the other thing that's come out of the show is, because I have a workshop and training background, I've created something I call the work show experience. So that's really, it's not a workshop, and it's not just a comedy show. It's a whole experience where I take you through. Let's pull back the curtain. Let me show you
Mhm.
how I rewrote the narrative of my life story and what it created for me in new possibilities for my future. And then let's take your life story. Literally, I take people through this timeline exercise, which is what I did when I wrote my show. It's like, well, first you have to find the highs and lows of your life. Then you have to remember, like, what's the story I've told myself about this experience? And then you can go back and go, what's funny about that? What's unusual about that? What did I learn from that? And you can rewrite your past. You can't change your past, right? It is what it is, happen, but you can change your perspective on it. And when you deliberately write it through the lens of comedy, you have a whole new relationship to everything that happens in your future, because you're now in control of that narrative, and it's very powerful experience. And that, I think, is one of the beautiful outcomes of being able to share that in a theatrical entertainment um, model, to give people access to more is possible for you.
Yeah.
This was just sort of like the little carrot to kind of get you in my fold,
Oh,
in my grips.
I and is that's what you're talking about? Is that your like 24-hour
Yes.
your retreat?
Yes. So
Okay.
I'm actually playing around with the timing of it. So the original design is a 24-hour experience, and I can do it virtually, and I do it. You'll love this. I built a comedy club in the basement of my suburban home. I
No, I hear
literally
you.
have a 52-seat comedy theater in my house.
Wow.
It's crazy. Lights, sound system, stage, the works. Like, it's crazy. Um, but so I do it in that space. But it's a workshop, and then you see the show that evening, and then we come back together the next day for the other workshop piece, and then there's a couple of individual coaching sessions, and even an emotional intelligence assessment, because I'm certified in that, and so it's it's not just learning from a comedian. It's, I actually have some training chops and
Mhm.
some
Yeah.
street cred. So it's a whole experience, and yeah, I love it.
I love that. What is the best way that people can connect with you to figure out where you're going to be on the show in 2026 and how they can come to your basement?
The best way is opdshow.com. So optimistic personality disorder, opdshow.com. There's always there's a button at the top that says, let's talk or something like that. And if you click it, you can book time on my calendar. Like, let's have an actual conversation. I've had people call me about wanting to sponsor the tour and get their business an ad in the playbill. I've had people, just want to get on the list for upcoming events, different things. But there's a whole section that, you can learn more about the show. And also, there's all the tour dates are on there.
Okay, good. What do you love most about your life right now?
I have an amazing son. My parents are healthy. I'm relatively healthy. I'm smiling. I'm very much in love. Like, life is good right now, and
Mhm.
I'm like, to be able to wake up in the morning and think about how can I make a difference doing the thing that I love, is a I'm pretty I'm pretty blessed. Like,
Yeah.
that's a pretty amazing thing to have the gift and the honor of being on stage and helping people lighten their load and laugh out loud is, I'm just very aware of that gift, and I just want to nurture it every day.
I'm so honored to have you here. I was also so thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you inviting me. Yeah, this has
Of
been
course.
great.
I as you were talking earlier, you somehow reminded me of Madeline Kahn. Do you know who that is,
Oh,
right?
oh my
I
god,
was like,
and
"Oh
now
my god,
she
are
was
you
one of the
related to her?"
I wish. God. Aunt
We need to do
Madeline,
some sort of
that would be
yeah.
awesome. No, sadly not related.
All right.
But it's so funny because she used to be on the Carol Burnett show a bit,
Yeah.
and Carol Burnett was like one of my favorites. And she remember how she would do her questions with the audience.
Mhm.
She did it before her show. I actually do that in my when if you come to my theater show at the end of the show. We just turn up the house lights, and I go, all right, as long as you promise not to ask me to do the Tarzan yell like Carol, because I can't do that one, I will answer any question that you have. And it's so fascinating to me, the questions that people ask. Sometimes it's about my life, sometimes it's about writing the show, or any number of the things that I talk about in the script. But it's really fun. The other thing that I just want to sneak in here, because I do
Yeah.
think that the other thing I love about performing the show is that it does good. Like, there's a theme in there, where I had some genetic testing, and I do believe that having that insight changed my life. And so I do hope that people leave the theater and they think about, like, I wonder if I should get genetic testing. Like, my history looks a little bit like hers, and maybe that could help me. And I have had women come up to me saying they had the same tests that I took, they got the same results that I did, they did the same preventative measures that I did. And it's really beautiful when the thing you love to do that brings people joy is also doing good in the world, and
Yeah.
that's important to me.
And imagine how many people you're doing that to that aren't telling you about it. You know?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, before we head out today, will you play a game with me?
Yeah, bring it.
Okay, good. The name of the game is Typecast. And let me get it up here. If you get 3 out of 5, everyone in our non existent studio audience will get tickets to the Optimistic personality disorder show next
Ooh,
year in a city wherever y'all are from. Okay, we'll figure that out later.
I
So no
love it.
pressure. No pressure.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a prompt, like a category. You're
Okay.
going to have 5 seconds to name 3 things in that category.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
3 out of 5. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yes.
And these are all kind of about personalities.
Okay.
Name 3 introvert traits.
Quiet, energetic from solo activities and reading.
Perfect. 1 down, 2 to go. Name 3 things a perfectionist might do.
Procrastinate, agonize, and redo it.
Perfect. 1 more. Here we go. Name 3 signs of a people pleaser.
Me, me, me.
That's it. That's it. You win. You win tickets. Well, everyone here wins tickets because of you to the Optimistic Personality Disorder Show next year in 2026. We'll get all your names on your way out. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this. This was a lot
Of
of
course. Come back anytime. You can, and next time you're in Charlotte, come to, oh, this isn't a basement anymore, but come to mine. I'll come to your basement. It'll be fun. We'll
I
figure it
love it. I love it. That's great.
out. All right.